I can't. Right. Hi. Sorry, there's a bit clunky in the setup of this. Hi and welcome everyone. Welcome to the She's the Boss live stream show, which is all about showcasing female founders and women doing extraordinary things in business. And I am so excited this morning because my guest, Carmelle Pavan, works in gold bullion, which I had never met anyone who worked in that space. So very, very warm welcome here, Carmelle.
Thank you. It's so lovely to see you, and what a privilege and an honour to be on this live with you.
I can't hear you. Let me just. What's happened? Is that my? Hang on. Sorry, just 1 second. Sorry, I opened my headphones and they have
disconnected everything else.
Disconnected everything else. There we go.
Yeah, technology, Jules.
Great. Okay, nothing like a technical hitch first thing in the morning. So, Carmelle, welcome.
Wonderful, as I said, Jules. Yeah, such an honour to be here. You've done such a phenomenal job with She's the Boss, and yeah, really grateful.
Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. So this is all about you, though. So let's start off by telling people what it is that you do now and why.
Well, now for the last 2 years, I'm the general manager of a bullion dealership. It's called As Good as Gold Australia. Yeah, it is. Actually, I'm the only woman leading a bullion dealership in Victoria.
Oh, so, wow. Congratulations.
Yeah.
I thought there were loads of them anyway.
No, there's loads of men, but no. So it's called As Good as Gold Australia. Yeah. We've got clients all over Australia. We sell gold and silver, and I've got some bullion to show you as well.
Show us.
Show you? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So this is 1 kilo of silver. Oh. That's it's quite heavy. It's 1 kilo. They come in boxes of 10, and I do get my strength up lifting the silver.
What sort of price is that worth?
That's about yeah. Well, gold and silver always fluctuates due to the spot price, which is what it is as a commodity globally. It's the raw product. It's the raw price. That right now is about $1,630.
Oh, so
now if that were gold. It's so inexpensive. It's pure silver, which is 999.9. So we only sell the highest grade bullion in the world, which is 9999. 9992 is actually acceptable globally. But Jules, if that were gold, that would be about $145,000 for 1 kilo of gold. Wow. So gold has increased substantially this year, 35% increase.
Should we all be going out and selling our gold jewellery? Is this the year to do it?
Well, yes, you can sell your gold jewellery and get the fiat currency, and then come and buy the real thing, which is the real bullion. There is 2 ounces of gold. It's a small nugget that's worth around $8,000. The difference is enormous in terms of gold and silver. And now I can talk about this for hours. So
I'm going to stop you because I don't want you to talk too much. I want to talk about you. But having said that, when I first met you, you were saying women, particularly older women who are looking at retirement, should look at gold bullion as part of a self-managed super fund. Can you just touch on that? Because I think that's really interesting.
Yes, the 1993, the Superannuation Investment Securities Act was established by the Hawke-Keating government. Yeah. And that essentially meant that any Australian can set up a self-managed super fund. Right. So we have accountants who specialise in self-managed super funds, and I do consultations and kind of talk to people about the process, the cost, and yes, there are 5 assets that you can purchase in a self-managed super fund: cash, shares, cryptocurrency, believe it or not, property, and bullion. And so you can legitimately purchase bullion in a self-managed super fund. And we are seeing record numbers, Jules, who actually, particularly women now, who are setting up a self-managed super fund and purchasing both gold and silver. If you're going to retire soonish, we recommend purchase more gold. Why? Because it is only going to skyrocket. It's on a major bull run. And
why? What's going on in the world that's making gold go up so fast?
Geopolitically, unfortunately,
What's going
the
on in
drop
Europe?
in fiat currencies. So fiat currency is money, and this is real money. So the more the US, for example, is a main player here, the more the US prints money, the more it devalues its currency. But at the back of that, or simultaneously, the reserve banks, central banks of the world, some of which are privately owned, are buying as much gold as they can get their hands on. And they've been doing so for over 10 years. In particular, Russia, India, and China. So these powerhouses are purchasing more gold because gold is money and it is the security, the top tier investment globally, and they will continue. So it's almost, if I have to say, the person who has the more gold will have the more power. And that's what, as we heard,
really interesting. And I mean, you know, people joke about the banks and cash and everything at the moment, but you can bury your gold or put it under your bed, whereas, you know, you wouldn't want to do that with your notes. So how did you get into this, Carmelle? How, what, why,
well, it's
how,
funny
and
you say
why?
about notes. Well, I just want to say, you mentioned notes. I've had clients who come in who actually buried their dollars, and then they wash it the night before. It was hard to count. We've got a cash machine, and it was so hard to count. So yeah, people still come in, go to the bank, or wherever they have cash, come in and buy precious metals, as much as they can. Jules, great question. That I've actually been with As Good as Gold Australia for over 8 years. So I had been a consultant, so I had my own business. So I was doing a lot of marketing and events, and I was helping them with the business strategy, and then events all around different parts of Australia. And then this opportunity came up in Melbourne to run and grow this business, As Good as Gold Australia. So yeah, I've kind of had my own business for quite some time, and really had my eye on She's the Boss, to be really upfront with you. Because I just think it's a great opportunity for women to get together on this in this kind of world where we can reconnect and share thoughts, ideas, etc. I mean, my purpose now is, honestly, from the heart, is to help women to become financially independent, financially free. And in that, I'm learning a lot myself. So I did work in finance for about 16 months as a marketing director. I'm not a financial planner, but I certainly understand the world of finance, global economics, and also obviously of precious metals. So that's really, I was just kind of landed. It just landed from a marketing event. Sometimes these things happen, you know.
I love it, because I doubt that anybody, unless they've got a parent or someone in their family or someone in their community who's working in that space, would say, I want to work in gold bullion. But I just think it's incredibly cool. And I'd never thought of it as being part of a self-managed super fund or a wealth strategy. So I guess I just thought the billionaires did it, you know, but I didn't really think of it as being something that women should look at.
Well, you're not the only one who said that. So, you know how I said we were doing events with the management around different capital cities in Australia to show them, you know, the different types of bullion. So I'll go smaller. Say there's a 10-ounce silver and there's a round, Perth Mint 1 ounce round. So we were, you know, talking about the value of gold and silver, how silver is certainly affordable. Anyone can purchase gold. And the reason why, because it's only going to increase over time. It's one of the best store of values that you can purchase mid to long term as an investment strategy.
It's funny because I still remember one of my very close friends in our 20s. So we're talking 30 years ago. There must have been a rush on gold then, but I remember her saying that her father and her brother had invested in gold. It had gone through the roof, and they both and I just remember thinking, wow, I just had never even thought of that.
So that, myself included. So what happened when we were doing these events and I was promoting them? And also I'm a former journalist, so I was doing a lot of, like you, we love doing interviews and getting the stories. So I started to interview a lot of the female clients and asking them, hey, why did you get into gold and silver? Asking them directly. And because why listen to me? Why not listen to the clients themselves telling their enriching stories? And they were very inspiring. And what happened was the first 4 women I interviewed were divorced, and had no idea about finances, no money, no idea about how to manage money. And yet here they are with the house and the children.
Yeah.
Then the second thing that was striking for me and for our management, we would have 100 to 150 people in these events, and Jules, 5 or 10 women, if we were lucky.
Right.
So my CEO said, why are women not purchasing? What's going on? What's happening? And I said, okay, let me do some interviews. Let me find out. Let me do some research.
Yeah.
So the women were saying, I think I can't afford it. Isn't it only for the wealthy?
Yeah.
I don't know who to trust. My accountant, my financial planner's not telling me to steer clear. It's all too hard. I need to put food on the table. This is too much to deal with.
Right.
Now, since the pandemic, our clients have now, the female clients, we have 65 to 70% who are women, and they're driving self-managed super funds. Yeah.
So you've done that. Really?
Yes. And one of the main reasons, Jules, is because, well, number one, women are living longer in Australia. Did you know that we're the sixth longest lifespan in the world? Which means we've got a great.
It doesn't surprise me though, because
beautiful country. Other than the city
great
areas, we've got fresh air,
like
beaches. Yeah. So we're living longer, outliving men. Not enough super. If women are having children and then dipping out of the workforce, it's very challenging to then break into.
Try and get back in.
Right after 40, running a business, sure, but getting back in. So the writing's on the wall. And then the worst statistic of all, when I was doing the As Good as Gold Women, because we actually set up the first precious metals education for women 6 years ago, pre-pandemic. And back then, women 55 plus were the burgeoning homelessness category in Australia. So
and they absolutely are now. The stats I heard 3 years ago was 16,000 women living in their cars. And then just yesterday, I was watching something on, I don't know whether it was on Netflix, all about the homelessness epidemic for women over 50. And it's very real.
It's a serious problem, Jules. It really is. Post-pandemic, when you have a lot of artists, performers, and certainly women running their own business that just couldn't be sustained.
But also those marriages that are ending, and so many women who have, for whatever reason, let the husband run the finances. So he's gone. He takes half the money, if not more, and they're really stuck.
Which is exactly what I said earlier, where the first 4 women that I interviewed, who were female clients, obviously, but their story was, I had no idea about finance because my husband did everything.
Yeah.
And one woman in particular didn't even know how to put petrol in the car because he would just fill it with a fuel card. So their learning was amazing. But isn't that interesting from a philosophical and an emotional perspective, Jules? When it's essential, when it's about survival, women are really strong and tough. And I've learned that through my own personal experiences as well, right? So we then start to self-educate. We start connecting. We start to research, and we start to take some chances. And we really do find out as much as we can. And that's why I love what I'm doing in educating, of course, everyone, but in particular women, is because I learn and get inspired so much myself. So it's an interesting.
I love it. So so you've talked about educating women and also selling the gold and silver. What specifically, if I wanted to come and work with you or buy from you, what specifically do you have on offer?
So we have anything from the small rounds or the little bars, the 1 ounce. We actually have the really, really small ones. I'll tell you, we've gone small. Can you see that?
That's one. It looks like a 5-cent piece.
Correct. It is, and it has our branding on the back.
Right.
So we have the smallest is 1/10, then it's half an ounce, 1 ounce, and then it goes up to the kilos. The reason why we're actually doing producing smaller, and as I said, all the gold and silver comes from Australia, and in fact, the Victorian gold is one of the highest purity of gold in the world, and Victoria is the top 3rd producer of gold in the world. A lot of it doesn't stay in this country, Jules.
But so get your hands on some. The gold fields in Ballarat. I wasn't expecting that it was still producing so much gold.
There's a resurgence. There's an absolute resurgence because the demand's going up. So you can come in and buy one round for $50.
Right.
So you can start at any amount. So you can make an appointment or walk in, call me, get in touch, and come in, or we send you an invoice. As I said, we've got clients all over Australia. We just send them an invoice, and then we courier their products to them discreetly, and it's all guaranteed. So
Wow.
start from there and just put it away.
And what's the biggest amount? I have to ask the biggest amount as well.
You mean the biggest
could you buy a ton of gold from you?
In kilos, yes. And
we've got if I had billions of dollars, I could still you can satisfy all of those ranges.
Yes, Jules, absolutely.
What's the most common one that women would buy?
The 1 ounce gold or silver and the 1 kilo silver bar. Right. So 1 ounce and 1 kilo.
Love that. So can you tell me a story about somebody or a couple of people that you've worked with and who presumably have bought, and the difference it might have made to them?
Absolutely. I've got many feel-good stories.
Oh, I know. You got to
focus on women. One woman in her late 60s, early 70s actually purchased precious metals and had a broker online who had around 600,000 of cryptocurrency. Right. So she wanted to cash out, sell the cryptocurrency, put the money in her account, and then transfer or purchase precious metals. Yeah. Unfortunately, it was a major scam. So we actually I testified and we assisted her.
Hang on, so are you saying that the cryptocurrency she thought she had, she didn't have?
Yeah, correct.
Oh my God, and she got to that stage with you without still realizing.
Yeah. So she purchased $600,000 of precious metals thinking the money was going to be transferred the night before. And then, so I worked with her daughter, her sister, the police, and she actually, Jules, half of it was returned, but that was a major lesson because then I'm an ex-journalist and I also do PR. And so I said, we've got to do PR on this because so many women, especially older women, I've been hearing not only are getting scammed, they can't even take their money out of the bank. So these are the kind of stories I hear regularly. That one really touched my heart. The most beautiful, wonderful woman who just thought she was doing the right thing. So again, it's a very important message out there. You've got to know and trust. You have to learn what you're doing and don't put your trust in others as much as you do yourself, your instincts. And get some absolutely do some research. Yes.
Okay, so I know that had a happy ending in the end. What about an unusual one? Have you had an unusual one where someone's come to you and asked for something that was out of the box?
I know.
Sorry, I'm putting you on the spot.
No. I can be a little cheeky. So you know how I said that the banks are making it more and more challenging for particularly women to take money out. Yeah. I had a very very sprightly woman in her late 50s who went to take her money out of her bank account and was given a bit of a hard time. What do you want the money for? By the teller, what are you doing? Yeah. What's this for? I
think partly that is because older women are getting scammed so much. They're trying to stop them transferring a big lump sum out to someone that they're not sure of.
No, point taken. And I say, here's my business card. Get them to call me. We're a legitimate business. You can call me, and that's fine to do that. And some of them have. So this woman had enough because that was not the first bank that was giving her a bit of a hard time. So she just screamed at the top of her voice, "It's for sex toys!" And then the teller just and the teller just blushed and said, "Here you go. Here's your cash." And then she came in and bought precious metals.
Wow. And then what about, have you had someone really young come in or people come in and buy it for their grandkids or their kids?
They do. It's called generational wealth. Yeah. So if you think back a couple of decades ago, a lot of various cultures, Indian, Italian, Arabic, Middle Eastern, they're cultures that absolutely know the value of precious metals. And so I have parents coming with their teenagers and purchasing with
So it's like a
for the
rite of
teenagers.
passage kind of thing. Now you're
Yeah,
16.
and teaching them that, you know what, this is like treasure. So yeah, it's been great, and I love that you've got these young people who are, you know, 15-year-olds, Jules,
Yeah.
who are then they come in themselves and they get to have some pocket money and buy treasure, real money. So they're onto it. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
And then
it's
what are
great.
they doing? Keeping it in a safety deposit box, do you think, or are they actually burying it?
Mostly, it's well, you don't have to. No one needs to know. So you have two choices. You can either take your precious metals and put it in a safe. And I've got a colleague who's an expert in safe. She actually, her and her ex-husband ran one of the largest safe companies, so she can give a lot of great advice.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah. So have a safe, and then where to hide the safe, or take it to a professional vault.
Right. And do
Yeah.
you store it as well for people? So if they say, I want to buy it, but I want you to look after it, you look after it as well?
Yes, As Good as Gold Australia does own a vault
Right.
in Adelaide,
Yeah.
but we've got clients all over Australia who do choose to vault, and don't worry about it because you know it's there and it's guaranteed.
Yeah.
I'm in Melbourne at the moment, and I do have my products in a vault in Melbourne. Yeah,
Right.
and a little secret stash maybe at home, maybe at my mother's property.
Wow, I have to say the whole gold bullion, silver bullion thing kind of blows my mind. So I really, really appreciate you sharing some of these stories and what you can do with people. If somebody wants to purchase from you or wants to have a chat with you about this, what's the best way of getting hold of you? Don't give me phone numbers, but what's the website address and what socials are you on?
Thank you. Sure, you know, I'm here to help and assist. So just As Good as Gold Australia. .com. We're on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram, As Good as Gold Australia.com.
Okay, fantastic. And if they want to get hold of you to talk about this, because you'd be a great speaker at an event around this kind of thing as well. Presumably you're just at Carmelle Pavan on LinkedIn and Facebook.
Yes, correct.
Right.
So either my name or through the company, or even my own business as well. So my business is Love, Life, Live. But, you know, just for the sake of things, I know we wear a few hats. So, yeah, Jules, I do know what it's like to be a woman running her own business as well. And I have to say one of the things that I don't have to worry about anymore is chasing invoices, because that used to be my bugbear is, you know, you've got this great relationship and then it comes to, okay, I need to ask the client for the delayed money. Yeah.
I know it's
So
the worst
look,
thing. I have to say the online options now where people can prepay or it takes it out of their account once they approve it is
the
is a
subscription
delight
model.
for small business owners. That's for sure.
The subscription model, it's genius, isn't it?
Yeah.
And cancel anytime if you need to, so you don't have that obligation. Great for revenue as well. So they can contact me, and I love speaking. I love for me, I see myself no longer as a presenter journalist, but as an educator.
Yeah, and you absolutely are. And hopefully you'll have educated a whole lot of people after today. So again, thank you so much. If you've been watching this, thank you very much for watching. This show is on at 11 o'clock every Monday morning for the rest of the year at least. So each one showcases incredible women. So do please come and watch or stick it in your diary. I also have a She's the Boss Facebook group with some very active women in there. There's nearly 5,000 of them. So feel free to go in, make comments and connect with women in there. And if you want to find out more about She's the Boss and what I'm doing, you can go to she'sthebossgroup.com. We have huge amounts of events, particularly before the end of the year. I offer coaching. We've got group programs. And of course, we've got a membership program. So I hope you will tune in next week. And again, Carmelle, thank you so much for the interview.